grow as rapidly, I would say, emotionally.
Well, do you find some of the men that you talk to and the men that you know are willing to put that kind of effort and time into the relationship to realize that you have to do continue to do what you do?
I think to me it is wanting to show this person that you want to give to them the best that you can bring. And part of it, you know, in terms of intimacy, men have to understand that intimacy for a woman begins with her heart.
That's good.
90%
I like that.
of everything that
like
you all
that.
do is based upon how you feel.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
But with men, it's a very tactile level.
Yes.
Right.
If you say, I want to go get something to eat, then you'll say, well, what do I feel like? And the man is going to say, well, I feel hungry. Because he's feeling on a very visceral and a very physical level. But I think what men need to understand is women have these emotional keys. And if you explore, and as you find the key, you begin to unlock different parts of her. And you all intuitively, when a man is doing things to please you, you're going to start bringing more and more of yourself to them.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You want to be appreciated.
Yeah.
But a man has to understand the lady wants to be loved, respected, appreciated, and desired. You know, because sometimes when a lady has children, you know, the relationship dynamics of the relationship change. And men should look at it as if, she's even sexier now.
Yeah, sure.
Because a lot of times, ladies, as the bodies are changing, the man is changing because he's responding to her changing and how she feels about herself. And I think that the motherhood process, the birth process, the changes that occur in a lady should be something that should be appreciated and should be seen as part of gracefully she becoming more and more of a woman, becoming more and more into her own. Because if we can make sure that y'all feel that and y'all appreciate that, then y'all don't have to worry about, well, I'm putting on too much weight or so forth and so on. Like, no, baby, you still got it going on.
That's great.
Every time I see you, I'm still interested.
That's great, because I've heard people say, you know, women are life givers. We are life givers. It's like whatever you give a woman, that's what she's going to give you back. So if you give a woman a house, she's going to make it a home.
Right.
If you give us anger and bitterness, we're going to make your lives miserable. What's that saying? If mama's happy, everybody in the house is happy.
That's right.
So I agree with that, you know, wholeheartedly. I think that's a good philosophy. Yeah.
But and you know a lot. You talk to a lot of women. Do you think now you're describing how we are because you understand, you've studied, you've learned, but are women understanding men? Like you just described, there's a big difference in terms of how you feel, how you relate. Do you find that women understand that you all are tactile? You're quick, you make quick decisions, fixers?
Yeah.
I don't know that they do. I think that sometimes both sexes are kind of self-delusional. Because the fact of the matter is, it's sometimes unrealistic to expect a man to change too much.
Oh man, absolutely.
So if you go into a situation and you're expecting that you're going to effect a change within that man, that may not be realistic. It may be that you have to understand, okay, I love this man, I want to be with this man, I'm going to have to accept certain things. There's an African proverb that talks about you go into marriage with both eyes open, you stay in marriage with one eye closed. And that's because you have to understand this is where men are coming from. And a lot of times the man is not as open with the woman because they don't want to appear to be vulnerable. They don't want it to appear that they're less manly, if you will. So they're not going to allow you to get too much in tune with their emotional side because that presents itself vulnerability, and that vulnerability is something that a lot of men don't think that they want ladies to see. But I think a lot of ladies appreciate that because then we're saying we speak to you on your level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. As far as changing, you know, you're talking about women trying to change men. I agree with you because I think it's unfair. You know, if you get into a relationship, you can't change anybody. You know, that's a person's decision. You know, and if a person changes, they really have to change because they want to. They have to do it for themselves, or else it's really not change. It's more like coercion.
Exactly.
So it's you know, it's not voluntary change. So no, I definitely agree with your point there.
And a lot of times you're not becoming, you're still not being you. You're
Exactly.
becoming someone else.
Exactly.
And it's not comfortable and it just doesn't work.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about you girls. Do you model the behavior, you know, behavior that men should model, you know, in front of your girls? do you act a certain way so that your girls would know that men are supposed to act this way? This is what you should expect in a relationship.
I try to. One of the blessings of being in a house with ladies is I'm learning more. One of the things I learned is inside every lady is the little girl. That same little girl who had the fears and the things that made her happy, they stay with you for all of your lives. And one of the things that I'm learning constantly with my daughters is, how do I communicate with you? So I'm very candid with them. And if I make a mistake, I'll say to them, Pop, sorry, I made a mistake. And I even say to them on occasion, tell me how I can do this better. For example, if my oldest is fussing, if I'm fussing at her about her homework, then she doesn't like it when I come at her a certain way about the homework. So I say to her, well, tell me, what's the way to do this? How would you like for me to talk with you about doing your homework? Tell me how you want this to be communicated to you. And they'll tell you. And that's part of the process that I think that, as opposed to assuming that we know.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with asking.
Absolutely.
And that's not necessarily the father-daughter relationship. That's the male-female relationship. That's the boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, the man-wife relationship. Men need to be okay with coming to you all and asking,
absolutely,
how am I doing? What can I do better?
But see, because I'm sorry, so go ahead.
So are you nicer to your wife in front of the girls so they know that this is how it's supposed to be in a relationship with a man and a woman?
I'm always the same way with her. And
You
I think that that's the thing that they see, because when they see us show affection, they're always kind of funny, because my older daughters will say, oh, get a room. If you're just trying to lean up against somebody and get a little bit of sugar, they fussing about that. And my younger ones kind of look at me and they just go, and they'll tease you about it. But what I want to present to them is this is the appropriate behavior between a man and his wife.
Yeah.
And yet there's
excellent.
a different type of affection when I'm with my daughters.
Sure.
It's okay. It's okay to hug you. It's okay to talk with you. It's okay to play and these type of things. So that my goal is when they go out or when the guys try to start showing up, I want them to have a template or a model,
That's
if you
right.
will,
Yeah.
and say, this is what I'm looking for. I want someone to be like my dad.
That's
Yes.
right.
Well, then dad has to make sure that he's got his stuff together.
Don't make the right choices.
absolutely.
They're going to make the right choices,
Yeah.
which is one reason I stay in the gym. Because they're going to make the right choices.
Well, we could talk about this subject on and on and on, but we are running out of time. But as we promised you, Stan is going to grace us with one of his poems. So Stan, why don't you share that with the audience today?
Thank you. It's one of my poems from my book, One Out of Darkness, Poems of a DC Brother. And I was told to read a certain type of poem, so I will.
Yeah. We have G-rated poems here.
Maybe PG. This one is called Waking. Why are all the really good things confined to the realm of the dreamer? The sensual, romantic, all left to the whim of the subconscious. I would awaken to a reality fostered by my dreams of you, of the scent that you leave on the pillow, the essence of you that makes me sleep on your side of the bed when you're not with me. I would awaken and waken you in the process, whispering as I bring you from the realm of the world that is your dreams, the world of the really good things. I would awaken, wondering if I'm still dreaming, because you are here with me.
Ooh, well, even though that was G-rated, it was rather exotic to me. Wow. Woo, and on that note, Julie, I think you...
Okay, you have his website?
Yes, I do. If you want to learn more about Stan's poetry, his website is stanstewartactorspeaker.homestead.com.
Yes. And Stan, we can't thank you enough for coming out and sharing. We got to do a part 2. Because
Yeah.
I got a list of questions.
Yeah, we're not finished. We haven't gotten through half our questions.
Yes, we definitely going to have to do a part 2 with Stan and relationships. And we have a lot of sisters out there who I know want to know this kind of information from the male perspective. You know yourselves, but you don't know how the men think. So next time we might have Stan come back and share a little bit more. But if you want to talk to us some more about this subject, you want to find out more about Stan, email us please at lifematters@gmail.com. And that's 2 S's on Life Matters. And we'll see you next time.